Please welcome Isabel Nyo, Development Manager at Atlassian.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Isabel and I'm originally from Burma, a country in Southeast Asia. A lot of people don't usually know where Burma is on the map, so I've got a map here for you. Burma is a beautiful little country next to Laos, China, and Thailand. I left Burma when I was a teenager, and I have been living in Australia for about 20 years. My hobbies are reading, writing, and playing with technology. I'm a little bit addicted to technology, and one of my favorite things to do online is to look at funny memes. When I'm not too busy looking at funny memes, I'm spending time with my family, especially being silly with my 7-year-old daughter, who knows so much more about technology than I do. The other day, I saw her asking Google Home to do her homework. To share with you a bit of my professional background, I studied Bachelor and Master of Computer Science from the University of Wollongong in Australia, and I've been working in the technology industry since I started my career. I've been working as a developer, a team lead, a tech lead, an architect, and a technology manager for the past 16 years. And currently, I'm working for Atlassian as a development manager for Jira Service Desk. For those who don't know, Atlassian is an enterprise software company, and we build collaboration tools like Jira, Confluence, and Trello for a lot of the teams around the world. For my talk today, I've got two main objectives. The first one is to think about innovation from a different perspective, and the second one is to share with you the process that I use for innovating with no-code too, and what's the process that I use during the innovation. So what is innovation? Which one here do you think is innovation? On the left, for A, we have got a few bullet points. An app, a two-sided marketplace, a social media plugin, and a website. Is it innovation? And on the right, for B, we have got some text that reads, process of translating an idea or invention into a good or service that creates value or for which customer will pay. Who say A and who say B? Okay. Whether you say A or B is actually both correct, because A is the outcome of innovation, but not the only outcome, but usually the common outcome in this day and age. And B is the definition of innovation that I copy from the internet. So how do we innovate like a boss? I believe that everyone is born creative. Everyone has got good ideas. But innovation is not about having good idea or not just about having good ideas. It's about creating something, transforming that idea into a desirable outcome to solve problems. With that in mind, I'd like to share with you my story of why I use no-code tools and a quick process that I use when I'm innovating. So this is my story. This is me. I'm a working mother and a woman in technology. These things that you see on this slide are the important things in my life. They are a part of me. But it's not very often that you see people like me on stage or people like me in the tech industry. As I said in many meetings, workshops, and conferences, as one of the very few technical women throughout my career, I couldn't help but feel that I needed to do more in representing, supporting, and encouraging women in technology. And I realized that the best way to do this is to be a good representation and to put myself out there online through my personal brand. I like to show the world that being a woman doesn't mean we can't do certain things. We can create, we can innovate, we can look after our household, we can take care of our kids, and we can lead organization or even country if that's what we want to do. And I like to show that with my work online. But I had a small problem. My life is already full, and I didn't think that I could add another project into my life. So this was me in 2010. In my past life, when I used to have a lot of free time on the weekends, I used to build apps and websites. I had no life. So this was a picture of me in 2010 after I built an iPhone app using Xcode, and it's an app to look for like various cafes and shops related to your personal preferences. And I built this app for a few weekends, and I finally put it live, and I did some promotion. And I thought a lot of people would be downloading this app. But after 6 months, there were only about 5 downloads. And to say that was a failure was an understatement. Well, fortunately for me, things are a bit different these days. My weekends are now filled with birthday parties, play dates, and making lunches for the week ahead. And also, fortunately, times are changing, which means that technology has also become more accessible over the past decade. So the challenge that I gave myself was to create something that is going to be valuable for others, and to do so by utilizing what's already available in the market, the tools and resources that are already out there, instead of writing something or writing code. And with that, I started my innovation process. This process has got 3 phases, known as prepare, plan, and perform. You can refer to them as 3P, so it's easy to remember. Preparation is all about asking questions and fully understanding what you are trying to do, and also looking at what's out there and researching how you might want to add value to the market. So these are the questions that I ask myself. So the questions are like, what problem am I trying to solve? Why is this problem worth solving? Who are my customers? What are they looking for? And how might I add value? In my case, creating a personal brand is the solution to the problem that I'm trying to solve with not having enough representation of women in technology. And my customer, or in this case, my audience, are people in the tech industry, aspiring thought leaders, who are developers, engineering managers, CTOs, and entrepreneurs. With that, I found an area or a niche where I could add value. It's an intersection between who I am, what I know, and what my audience is looking for. After the preparation stage comes planning. This stage is all about breaking my goals and ideas into actionable tasks using jobs to be done framework to fully understand my audience needs. And based on that, I've got a list of tasks that I need to do in order to fulfill the needs of my audience. So this is basically what my plan looked like. On the left, I've got the jobs to be done of my audience, which are becoming a thought leader in the technology industry, learning how to be a better developer, engineering manager, or an entrepreneur, and staying up to date with the latest trend in the technology. And then on the right, I've got the things that I need to do in order to fulfill the needs of my audience, like creating the relevant content, articles, training courses, ebooks, promoting these content so they can be accessible by the people who are looking for this kind of content, and learning best practices and understanding the space that I operate in, and always staying in the know with what's happening in the industry. And you can apply this framework to any innovation or any idea that you've got. Throughout the process of putting together my plan, I thought about what tools and resources that I could use to accomplish my needs. My biggest requirement here is efficiency. As I mentioned earlier, this is the challenges I give to myself to create something that's going to be valuable, but not to use all the time that I have spare. So throughout the process, I keep reminding myself not to go out and build something just because I could, but to really look at what's out there and how I could utilize what's already out there. So for example, I thought about building an e-commerce website so that I could sell products that promote women in technology. But then I realized that there were already so many e-commerce platforms in the market that I could use. So instead of spending a few weekends building something or building an e-commerce website, I spent a few hours evaluating some of the e-commerce platforms that's already in the market and chose the one that suit my needs. As we are clear on the why, the who, the what, and the how through preparation and planning, it's now time to take action. For this stage, I followed the Lean Startup methodology, which a lot of you might be already familiar with, of build, measure, and learn. Building using no-code tools enabled me to get my solution out to the market, to my audience, quickly and easily, and it also allowed me to iterate on my solution almost effortlessly. So this is Henry Ford. You might know him, but he is one of the greatest innovators of all time. He said, you cannot build a reputation on what you are going to do. Likewise, innovation is not about having an idea or thinking about what you are going to do. It's about solving problems and providing solutions to the problem. So let me share with you some of the tools and no-code platform and tools that I use in order to solve problems and provide solutions to my audience. You might already be familiar with some of these tools and platforms, but you might not be using the way I use them. For example, instead of using WordPress as a traditional blogging tool, I use it as a content management system and an aggregation for various content that come through social media and also from Medium, which I use for blogging platform. And I use MailChimp and MailerLite for training and courses. So not only do I use them for newsletter, but I use them for my e-courses and training courses. So for example, I've got an e-course called Becoming a Thought Leader in 30 Days. And people can sign up for it for free for 7 days. And on the 8th day, I send them an email asking them if they want to subscribe to this premium content. And to do so, even when I'm sleeping, I've got workflow and automation set up in the backend of MailChimp to request for payment at the right time and to process payment using Stripe, and also to allow people to give them the option of subscribing to be a premium subscriber, premium member of the content. As for digital products like quizzes and worksheets and other ebooks, I use Simple Goods for secure hosting with Stripe payment integrated. As I mentioned earlier, I also have an online store where I sell products like Women in Technology t-shirts, like the one that I'm wearing right now, or mugs and bags and so on. And I use Threadless for this. The beauty of using something like Threadless is that not only do I not need to worry about creating an e-commerce website, I also don't need to worry about processing order or keeping stock because it's a print-on-demand platform. The only thing that I had to do for my shop was to create high-resolution graphics that could be printed on different accessories and merchandise. As for keeping in touch with social media and promoting my content online, I use Buffer. But I use Buffer because rather than updating on multiple social media accounts all day and every day, Buffer allows me to schedule updates in advance. So I usually schedule all my updates on the weekend. So even when I have a busy week at work or when I'm busy doing homework with my daughter, I can be sure that my social media is kept up to date. As for learning about how my audience is engaging with my content or how they like to connect with me or engage with me, I use Google Analytics and other analytics tools that are already baked in with some of the platforms that I'm using. So there you have it. That's just a simple example of how I innovate and use no-code tools to keep an active personal brand online and make use of my time efficiently. You can also use the same process and similar tools that I've mentioned here for any idea or any innovation that you've got. If there's one thing that I'd like you to take away from my talk, is that innovation is not about writing code. Innovation is about solving problems. And in this day and age, you might say that a lot of the problems are solved using technology, which is correct, but you don't need to have a technical background to innovate. I truly believe that if you can think it, you can build it, even if you don't know how to code or you don't have the time to code like me. There are so many no-code tools and platforms that are available in the market now that allow you to build and create value quickly and easily, and which is the beauty of innovation, providing solutions. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my story and listening to me throughout the talk. If you'd like to find out about my personal brand, check out my website, or you can connect with me on social media. I'm leaving San Francisco to go back to Sydney tomorrow, but if you've got any tip on which places to go or what to eat around the area, let me know and connect with me on social media. Thank you so much.